What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner. Today I'm going to be talking about what to bring to your very first pistol match. So it's been a couple years since I've done an actual pistol match, and when I mean pistol match, I mean something like basic. This is a $20 match that's held every week. It's nothing super crazy. So this is an intro match for most people, or just a fun weekly match that people go to every single week. I used to do them a little bit more consistent with friends, but I just kind of fell off from doing it. So I want to get back into it this year, and I figured I'd show you what I bring and what you might need in your kit. So there's three classes for pistol matches. There's IDPA, IPSC, or USPSA. I am not an expert on all of them. I think the USPSA is like an American, you can fully deck out your gun and it kind of gets into its own little realm of gun training. I just use a battle belt setup. So this is not a competition ring. Ooh, there's dog hair flying around, sorry. There's like these crazy belts that are just for race guns and doing competitions only, but that's not what I mainly like doing. I like having a battle belt and just running my stuff from that, because this is not just a competition belt, but this is what I would grab if my life ever depended on it. Not that you couldn't use those belts for it, but if you ever look those belts up, they're pretty crazy, and they're just holding your gun from the trigger guard. They're like, your entire gun's basically exposed because they're built for speed. So I am more of a shooter that wants to be built around tactical applications, if that makes sense, but you could do either one. Shooting in general is fun, and if I had all the time and money, I would do as much as I could. But I'm a little limited, so this is what I like to do. But yeah, as far as belts go, you don't need to start with something like this. I did a video on this belt setup before if you want to go check it out. But this is a G-code belt setup. I have their Scorpion mag pouches on here. You really only need 2 to 3 for a pistol match. 2 is a really good starter for you, and then a good holster. Everything else I have on here, I have an AR pouch. I have an AR pouch with a multi-tool. I have medical, and then I have a knife. That's unnecessary for a competition rig, but this is my belt for everything. Competition, self-defense, just out in the desert shooting. It's my belt for everything because it's expensive. And I use a Safariland ALS holster with a thigh strap. Thigh straps are very nice for just holding the holster firm to your body when you're drawing, because if you don't have it, when you draw, if it can't in any way, it kind of messes up your draw. So I like having a thigh strap, but that's just kind of quick overview on my belt. My gun that I'll be using is a Shadow Systems MR918. This is like a Glock 19 clone. I've had it for years. I'm pushing about 10,000 rounds through it. And yeah, it's been my old reliable handgun for a long time. And I've had this belt for a long time, so this is what I'll be using. I'm going to see if I can get my girlfriend to do it with me too. She's going to be there, but she's going to help me record a YouTube video. But I'd like her to do it, and this is her belt setup. So she got this all on her own. She also has a Shadow Systems. This is a DR920 Elite. So this is a Glock 17 style pistol, and it has a Streamlight TLR1 HL on there. And her belt setup is very basic. It's still expensive because the Safariland holster is expensive, but it is a basic belt setup. So she has a pistol with a thigh strap and literally just 2 mag pouches. That's it, and that's all you need to really get started. If you can't do a belt setup, I would say at least a firm belt. This is a 511 trainer belt. This is what I was using for a long time as my main belt setup. And all I would do is, at the time it was a Blackhawk holster, like the Serpa holster, and then I would attach my mag pouches to it. So instead of having it all pre-built on there, every time I would do a competition, I would just set it up on my belt. And it works. I mean, that's how I got started. You don't need to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. At that time, I bought the holster for about 25 bucks and cheap mag pouches for about 20 bucks, and then this belt's 40 bucks. So, I mean, it's money regardless, but if you're going to get into it, it's worth it to spend the money over time. And as soon as you can get into a battle belt like this, or even a competition rig, if you want to just solely go into competition, I would say it's worth the investment, and these are useful for more than just doing a weekly match. You can take this to the desert, end of the world, zombies, whatever. This is useful for all of that. So this is my girlfriend's belt setup, and over time, she's gonna kind of deck it out. She already has a knife that she wants to get for hers. She's gonna get a half-face blades knife, which is a pretty nice knife. I am running a Haley Strategic Darter knife, and yeah, I think it's fun. I really appreciate that she's kind of getting into it, and again, she bought all this herself, which is pretty cool. So yeah, she might do the match with me tomorrow, no guarantees, but she's gonna help me record a YouTube video on it for you guys. And we're going to talk about what you might need for your range bag. So this is a bag that I got for Christmas from my brother. It's a Save Your Equipment range bag, and I'm really excited to have it. I haven't busted it out since Christmas, but I have a lot of other range bags. But since this is my first match in a while, I thought it'd be cool to bring out a new range bag. So I'm going to bring this out. It's got these pistol pouches in here. I won't need these for tomorrow's match, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this holster off, and it pops right off. And I'm going to just stick the whole gun in here. Now, if you're going to your first match, I would say don't bring your competition gun in loaded, because every range is kind of particular with that. So I'm going to unload this. So dropped around, but it was in my hand. So I'm going to unload that, and it's going to just go in the holster, and then in here. My belt will just kind of sit on top of it, because, I mean, I could cram this thing in there, but I'm not going to. Another thing I bring to the range is my medical stuff. So I have a basic first aid kit and then an IFAK, which is for life-threatening emergencies. This is always good to have. I understand that not everyone's going to have it, especially if you're a beginner. You may not have all this, but as soon as you can look into it and like train with it, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of good medical courses that you could take, and I took an IFAK course, and that was very eye-opening as far as like potential injuries, and not just gun-wise, just in life in general. So highly recommend it. I got my girlfriend to take a Stop the Bleed class, and that taught her very valuable skills, and it's free. So at least here in Arizona, they have free Stop the Bleed classes every month, and they might have it in your state too, so look into that. But she keeps a basic first aid kit in her bag. Nothing too crazy yet, but we're working towards that. Again, I would consider her a beginner. I would consider me an intermediate person. So we're always working to improve ourselves, and I think that's the most important. We're not perfect by any means, but we're always working towards improving. The next thing that we'll do is eyes and ears. So I just have basic eye protection in here. These UVEX glasses are pretty decent. I've gone through a couple pairs, but other than that, they work really well. And I like clear glasses for indoors. The match I'm doing tomorrow is indoors, but I will also be doing some outdoor matches here soon. The nice thing about at least Arizona is I live in like the valley, so there is matches every single day of the week, 365 days a year basically. I can do a match every day of the week if I wanted to, which is very cool. I can't afford it, but it's very cool. You should check your state, and matches don't mean you have to be a professional. You can show up as a beginner. Most matches have beginners take a basic safety class, or even just like a holster qualification to make sure you can draw your gun without shooting yourself. So look into that, but it doesn't have to be intimidating if it's your first time. When I got into my first shooting courses, my friends brought me out, and they were very helpful. And when you show up to these matches, there's normally always people that are willing to help you and to kind of watch you, and also watch them. Like, you can definitely tell who's a really good shooter and who's kind of learning themselves. You can build friendships at the ranges. I'm at a point where I don't need any of my friends to go to the match with me. I can just show up, and I'll be able to get along and talk with people. Not everyone's nice at ranges, just fair warning, but you can make some friends there. And as far as my ears go, these are 3mm Peltors. They're pretty thick ears, but they're very comfy. They got the gel cups on there. And the course that I'm doing tomorrow, it's at C2 here in Arizona. It is a 4-stage course, if I remember that right. It's 4 stages. It's all pistol only. I think they allow sub guns too, so like a pistol caliber carbine if you want. You can even run 22s. Like during COVID, they made it very open to just whatever, because ammo is expensive. I think a lot of people were running 22s, or again, you can run pistol caliber carbines at this one specifically. But yeah, some matches are very open as to what you can use. If you run iron sights only, which is what my girlfriend has, that puts you in a limited division. If you run optics like mine, that would put you in like more of an open division. So the more stuff you have on your gun, the more tactical or fancy it is, the bigger the division you're in. So I think starting out just using iron sights is a good way to start, because you don't need to go all out. Like, money doesn't buy you the skill to do it. Consistency is what's going to make you a better shooter. And when I started going to these matches consistently when I first started shooting, I noticed improvement every single week versus just going to the range and shooting a basic paper target. Like, you're moving and shooting, you're shooting moving targets potentially. Like, I built up a lot of skill and fundamentals very fast by doing these matches consistently when I first started. And again, it's more consistency that builds skills, not having fancy guns or the most expensive gear. So just something to think about. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Just, buy some good basic kit, and the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. So easiest way to do it. So I got my eyes and ears here. Again, this range bag is pretty nice. You got plenty of space here. I have all my magazines already kind of preloaded in this bag. I just keep a bag of Glock mags in my range bags, and then I have an Uplula loader. These are very nice if you are going to be reloading a lot of mags. All my mags are kind of preloaded already, so all I'm bringing tomorrow is an extra 100 rounds of ammo, which I think this match I won't need more than 100 or 150 rounds, and it's about a $20 match. So if you do this consistently, like this one is $20 weekly plus ammo. It can get a little expensive. I don't see myself doing it every week, but maybe twice a month is doable. And just treat it like, a training cost, as far as like if you want to build skill with pistol, it's a training cost, and you will definitely get your money's worth if you put your mind to it. So I got my mags there. What else? I think that's basically it. So I got my magazines, my ammo, my gun, my medical, my eyes and ears. And then when I take this to the range, this is just going to sit right here. So I won't have any gun hanging out, but it'll just sit like that. I still have my carry gun, so I show up to the range wearing a carry gun, and as we get kind of kitted out, I'll just take my whole holster out, put it in the bag. So now my bag is basically all loaded. I got my magazines, I got my pistol, my medical, my ears and eyes, and then these front pouches aren't going to have anything in them for this one. I got my patch right here. This is Patch Rat. If you want one of these patches, they're going to be on my website, atroxco.com, and they're only 10 bucks. They don't get you entered into Win Night Vision, unfortunately, but they're only $10, not 30 or 40 bucks. So I'll stick him right here. And that's basically it for my range bag. Just go like this, and you're all set. You don't need to bring a crap ton of cases for your pistol match. Like, you're going to be there for about an hour or so, maybe 2 hours. And yeah, this is really all you need to kind of get started. Another thing to consider with these matches is footwear. So I'm going to be wearing my Vans, and these have okay tread on the bottom. They're not the greatest, but one thing to know, when you're at an indoor range, and people comment on how I move at an indoor range, which is pretty funny, I'll kind of get into this, but when you are shooting behind the firing line, the ground is very like normal, like it's not slick at all. But at some of these matches, when you're shooting in front of the firing line, like, you know, in front of all the bays, it is very slick at an indoor range. Like, all that gunpowder residue landing on the ground from the people that are shooting during the day, it makes the range so slick. So having shoes with traction or non-slip shoes, I think, are very important. Again, I'm going to be wearing these Vans tomorrow. They're okay. They're not the greatest. I will have to be kind of cautious how I move. But if you're doing indoors or outdoors, I recommend some type of like athletic boot or shoe that won't let you slip. And what's funny is I've posted some videos of drills I ran, and people have commented on how I run. Like, they're like, oh, he runs like a girl. And I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of funny because I run ultra marathons. I guarantee you they don't run ultra marathons. But you really have to watch how you move at an indoor range, is because I have slipped, other people have slipped, and when you're working with loaded guns, you just got to be as careful as you can. I'll post a clip right here of me slipping at an indoor range while I was training with some friends. So yeah, no one's immune to slipping or falling or, you know, having an accident. It happens, but as long as you can be as safe as you can as you do it, I mean, that's all we can hope for. Like, when I slipped, I had my finger off the trigger. I got up, I finished the drill, my ears fell off. I did decide to finish the drill. That's kind of up to you. I'm under the mindset that, like, when we do these training drills, you finish it. Like, if you're having malfunctions, you finish it. If your gun is ultimately unsafe, then don't. But I mean, yeah, with the training that I like doing with my friends, we really try to push it and make it as realistic as possible, as far as, like, if you have a malfunction, you got to make it work. At matches, not really the same. If you slip at a match, they're going to kind of not disqualify you, but I think they just consider you done for that match. They care about safety more than, you know, finishing the match. So that makes sense. But with me and my friends, if something happens and everyone is safe, we got to finish the drill no matter what. But just some things to think about. If you've been watching my YouTube shorts, I've been posting daily videos and daily shorts, and the shorts are more or less just drills that I've ran in the past or just random shoots. But that kind of wraps it up for this video. Stay tuned for my next video where we actually do this match, and hopefully I can get my girlfriend to do it with me. I invited some of my friends to do it too, so we'll see who we can get out there to do it. But thank you for watching, guys, and stay tuned for my next video.